Okay, so starting off with the installation, I already got this far, but it's because I had previously recorded this and my phone just decided to die. Anyway, so I took off the dome light because you're gonna have pretty much the doors open all the time. To take it off, you just stick something right here, a screwdriver or your nail, and grab the little cover, pop it off, and then pop that light off. And then right here, I took off this cover, and what it was just two screws right here, one right there, one right there, and then the two screws for the little hood latch. Took that off. There were two right there, popped it off, and then it's not necessary to take this off, but I took it off just because it would give you a little bit more light since it is starting to get dark outside. As for the circuit, I decided to wire this thing on its own circuit, straight from the battery, just in case anything were to happen, or I want to, start wiring different things in the future. I'll just have this power wire to work with, and I don't have to mess with anything on the truck itself. Also, I was looking into getting a little fuse tap and tapping in here, but it just won't be possible because this sits flush with the door, and well, it's just not going to work out on this truck. To pass the wire through out into the engine bay, I went out here and then found pretty much anything that goes across the firewall, in this case being this hood cable. There's a grommet right there. I'm not sure if you can see. Let me see if I can grab the flashlight. Anyway, right there is where it goes through, and then I made this little wire and poked it through. Just poked it through like that. It did rip the little grommet, but it's all good. And then I passed the wire. On this side over here, right there is where we came out of. And then this had this little cover, the sleeve on it, over it. I cut off the zip tie, pulled the zip tie out, and then right there is where it poked through. I put the wire out, and then it works perfectly because the actual cable for the hood latch goes under all this stuff, comes out this way, and then pretty much it's right here. I could just run it straight to the battery. I'm also going to grab some wire loom and then pop it all through. That way it's a pretty clean installation. So here's how I did the power. I got it from the 12 volt positive. The power wire goes down through here onto a 10 amp fuse, and then it goes down with the loom, grabbing onto the hood latch cable, and then it follows this way, following the cable all the way across with the zip ties, and then going into the cab. To take off the door panel, you first start right here. Stick a screwdriver right behind this first plastic piece. It's two pieces, and then you pry this off and it'll just pop off. And there's a T20 screw underneath this that you just unscrew it once this cap is off. So right here, stick the screwdriver like that. It has two notches. Just pop them off, and then you grab the T20, stick it in there. The little screw comes out, and then pull this out of there. So be careful not to break the plastic. Yeah. Then you gotta take these two screws out. Then another one down here. Once you got those two out, you just grab this door and pull up. You pull up and then towards you, and it'll just pop out. So now with the door panel off, there's this liner right here. I just don't want to tear it all off. I just don't want to tear it all off. just opened it up right here. I guess I'll stick this back with double-sided tape afterward. This is where you're going to be working at right here, because the door lock mechanism is right here. You have a little, I guess, access port right here. You'll be able to see and attach your actuator to the rod. And then just make sure your window's up, because you're going to be working here. You don't want to mess with it, scratch it, or break it. And then over here, I took off the speaker because it's just easier. Instead of ripping all this off, I'll just, you know, take off the speaker and then be able to pass the wires and everything through here. I finally got the right angle on the lock, on that little thing right there. And then it was really hard because the actual actuator, first I tried it on this side. I thought it would have the most room, but what happens here is that when the lock goes down, you hit the rod itself and then it just stops it from coming down. So I took it off and then I tried it over here, but it's the same thing. Here you run into the cable. This is the cable for your door right here. So that was a fail. So I finally decided to move it over here, just a couple inches over, and this ended up working. It's just that the lock is kind of like on one plane, I guess, and then the other one's probably over about this far deep. So it was really hard to get that angle. After a while I finally got it that it's just supposed to be like a little L like this. So this part of it is inside the actuator, and then the little clip would be on the right side like that. And then so once I got that in there, now it goes up and down and it works fine. Next I'm just gonna go ahead and do the wiring from through the door and up over here to where I'm gonna be installing the little module. So next I took off the parking brake release right here. It had 2 screws that just went up right here, and then the parking brake itself, I loosened it. It was 1, 2, 3, 4 screws, 4 little bolts, 10 millimeter, and that gave me enough play right here, so I can now stick my hand between here, and then hopefully when I do the wiring from the door, I can stick the wires all the way through here and then just run the wires out that way. So now I got the wires through. I put a wire loom and then pass it up over here. Got them hooked up and heat shrink them. For the wire loom and all the wires to go through here, it was pretty hard, but I popped that grommet into the door, and then this one right here too, popped it out this way. And then again I passed the rod through the hole right there, but there are two different holes, and then it's separated by a little rubber mat divider. So just make sure to pass it through the inside hole over there, because if you put it on this side, you're gonna pretty much squish it when you push this back in place. And then I already tested out the door, tested out this door, and got it running. It's pretty much set. Now I'm gonna go ahead and wire in the module and then start working on the other door. I just wanted to show how I got all this stuff through it, because I didn't do it on the other door. So I got this rod and then put the one wire right here, then the other tip right here, so it's staggered and it doesn't make that much of impact on the size. And then here's the grommet. I just pushed the grommet out this way, and then the one in the inside too, I pushed it out. And then I pushed this the wire loom this way through here, and then now I'm gonna grab the grommet straight and push the rod through here until it comes out on this end. And once it's on this end, then I'm just gonna pull everything out. For the wiring, I ended up putting the module right there. Right there's the module. The wires came up right here through the little loom, in past the parking brake. The power wire comes up right here, over, and then goes out through that grommet. The ground, I just grabbed it from right there from the OBD2 port. I used one of the screws right there as a ground. And then all the wiring that went over to the right side, the passenger side, I ended up passing it through the loom. And then right behind the cup holder, there's a little area right here that you can pass it through. I passed everything onto that side. The wires came up under right here by the glove compartment, and then go up. And opening this up, the wires come up through here, up through the top, out this way, down into this kick panel, and then from this kick panel through out into the door. So here's the final product. I think it's a pretty nice clean installation. Looking around, you can't even tell anything's happened. Everything is nice and clean. Down here through the bottom, no one could even guess anything's going on, huh? Pretty much like factory. And here's the doors.